Let me piggyback off of that because especially when you cover TV, there's a lot more reaching out that you have to do, just given how many studio streamers that we have at this point. Can you talk a little bit about the process? Like, how do you actually pitch the studios? How do you pitch these PR agencies? What does that process look like?
I mean, I think it depends, as we've all discussed, on who you're writing for. If you're writing for a specific outlet with certain name recognition as a freelancer, something that I would often need to do is email the publicist and say, hello, I'm Roxana Haddadi. I'm reaching out on behalf of Vulture. I'll be writing recaps for this series. My editor is CC'd here so they can confirm my assignment. Can you please provide me with access? And that's generally, the template. Again, it's just a lot of Googling to try to find people. So that's when you have the assignment. When you're attempting to get the assignment, again, it's a matter of like, which outlets do you read the most? What is their voice? Do you want to write for them? And what would you offer? And I think that's a matter of, for as many flaws as Twitter has, you can find editors and their contact information and people looking for pitches. And I think that's a matter of pitching yourself to those outlets, and sort of just figuring out a way to describe your style, what you would bring to an assignment, and send it and keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. It is a lot of chasing down contacts and knowing what you offer to that assignment. But I mean, I will say, like, Robert was somebody that I read for Ebert. And I thought like it would be so cool to write for Ebert, and then with time and with work that could happen. But I think it's a matter of being aware of who you want to write for, what their voice is, what you would bring to it, and then the pipeline of hunting down what you need to do to be able to do that. There are a lot of steps involved. I can't lie about that.
With regards to pitching, like Twitter is, of course, a fantastic place to pitch. I've gotten the amount of DMs I've gotten from an editor who's, like, oh, I saw your tweet. Can you write about this? Give me 800 words about this and da da da. That's pretty common. But, I think what's also really good about Twitter is that not only, what I would say is that I wouldn't like cold email an editor too often. Like, I think Twitter's really good about building connections and building organic connections, things that don't feel like transactional. And I think sometimes, with Twitter, of course, you can become closer with editors, and then editor starts looking out for your work, they start reading you, and then at some point, maybe they have an assignment and they reach out, right? So sometimes you can do that you can get an assignment without even pitching, just being yourself and not trying to get something out of it. And then, with pitching in general, if you want to reach out to an editor, typically when I pitch, I try to pitch to be the as short as possible. Like very quick. I include like possible headline, very quick synopsis of like maybe 2 or 3 sentences of what I'm thinking, where the piece is going to go, what I already have like research wise for it, and then get right out of there. And that that's worked pretty well. So I guess mostly what I'm kind of getting around is there's no quick way, as Roxana said, right? There's a lot of steps involved, and that whether it's becoming close with editors or whether it's becoming close with publicists, but when you get there, it tends to get easier to get access. But as we all know, it also depends on where you're located at and what the studio is. Some studios are much more open to giving away stuff, like say Netflix is kind of open, whereas a few other bigger studios are not. but just in general, I think really just put yourself out there and just keep writing, get to as many early screenings as you can, and just keep writing. And typically someone will take notice at some point.
Some of the things that I even did is I would like go and look up press releases for movies, press releases for TV shows, go search like the studio website. Sometimes they have contacts and they actually spell out for this TV show or for this movie, you can contact this person. Like when Roxana said Google is your friend, the types of things that I would do to try to Google and find people and guess email addresses, depending on what the company email address is, like that is so helpful. But I think also too, networking is a huge like piece to that. Especially going to film festivals, going to TV festivals, actually being able to put a face to the name. Sometimes like cold emailing does not help because they're getting hundreds of emails from everyone across the country and the entire world trying to get access to some of these titles, and actually being able to put a face to the name and meeting someone in person. Like that's how I've actually been able to get on like press sites, get access to media sites. So I think networking, even being able to reach out to people in DMs and be like, hey, can you look over this like pitch email that I have for interviews or to get access to TV shows? It's like little things like that that just make the world of difference.